Hello everybody, this is Scott Bell for Scott's Wrestling Blog, and this is my sidekick.
I'm Mia.
And we're here to do a review on OCW, Outback Championship Wrestling's event from Anzac Day. It was the 25th of April, and basically the show started on time. Crowd estimate probably at about 60 to 70 people, which is probably understandable. Being a public holiday and all, it gets a bit hard for people to get out sometimes and do that. I also think that OCW playing the last post at the beginning of the show was a good touch. And also, you got the sort of feeling, the vibe sort of around OCW that it's a very sort of family-orientated event, sort of like you get that feel anyway. Because this was the first OCW show that we had attended. OCW have probably been around for about 12 months now. And the majority of their shows have attracted international stars. They've had the Young Bucks, Tommy Dreamer was at their last show, and a few others that I just can't remember off the top of my head. So yeah, basically the show got off to a good start on time with the last post, and then basically we went into the first match, and the first match was Seth Max, a big fella, 6'5", probably about 120 kilos, accompanied to the ring by the OCW World Champion Andy Phoenix.
He requested he leave at the start of the match because he said that he wasn't worth our time.
Yep, he did, and Seth Max basically also told him that he didn't need his help, and yeah, he could
Hold his own.
Yeah, get out of the ring, and there's obviously something building there. It looks like it anyway. So we'll see where that goes. His opponent on the night was one of the crowd favourites, Cletus. He came out to his usual little pop and did his thing.
The crowd going.
Yeah, exactly. The match was backwards and forwards, considering like the size difference between the two guys. You've got a guy probably 5'8" and a guy 6'5". Both worked well together. One of the things on the night that sort of became a pet peeve between the two of us, and actually didn't occur that I was aware of during this match, was that there was no calling of shots, which was brilliant. Because like we'll get to that anyway, but yeah. Anyway, the match went backwards and forwards. Seth Max pretty much give Cletus a good hiding.
There was a good crowd wrestler interaction there.
Exactly, yeah, and also there was a little bit of a comedy bit at the start of the match where just as they were about to lock up, Cletus's pocket started to ring. He had a phone in his pocket, and anyway, the phone call was for Seth Max. I don't know who it was, but
yeah, he answered over and then
attacked him from behind. So the match then sort of got underway. It basically, yeah, it was a backwards and forwards match. Quite good for an opener, and in the end, surprisingly enough, Cletus rolled up Seth Max for the win. Andy Phoenix then came out, started to yell at Seth, and basically do a beatdown on Cletus, which Seth Max then
got into and
joined in.
With.
Yep, before South Australian Chris "Mimic" Basso came out. He's also in the main event tonight, and basically helped with the save. Then basically, because Andy Phoenix had gotten out of the ring so fast, he left his belt in the ring. Mimic grabbed the belt and basically said, "Come on, let's do it now."
Also made a good little leprechaun joke there with Andy Phoenix being a Irishman.
Exactly, and
good little joke about that,
and
being a leprechaun and stuff.
Andy Phoenix's reply to Mimic was that he's a main eventer and that his match should go on last, so Mimic had to wait, basically. Okay, on to the next one. You want to start her off?
This was a tag team match which had the team of B-Boy and Cadman Turner, which was a very interesting combination, I thought, versus Crackerjack and Joel Bateman, another very interesting combination there.
Yeah, well, Joel Bateman and Crackerjack did not seem to be on the same page. They didn't seem to be working well together. Don't know exactly what was going on there. B-Boy and Cadman Turner, not too bad. Cadman Turner apparently had a broken wrist, but was still prepared to
toss him all over his shoulder.
toss him all over his shoulder and do what he had to do. It wasn't a bad match. There are a couple of interesting spots, as I said, between Crackerjack and Joel Bateman. Don't know exactly where that's leading.
Crackerjack's always a bit of a laugh though to see in the ring.
Oh, Crackerjack's a brilliant performer, without a doubt. Anyway, who picked up the win there?
It was Cadman Turner and B-Boy. It basically ended with Cadman Turner hit Crackerjack in the head with his cast, and then
Knocked him
Crackerjack
out.
went down, put his foot on his chest, B-Boy jumped into his arms, and they picked up the win there.
Exactly, yeah, it was quite a good little finishing thing by there. Next up, we had Alexi Papadopoulos, a big crowd favourite all around Victoria, up against Jake Navarra. But before Jake got to get out to the ring, Crackerjack came out and...
No, Crackerjack had hidden himself in the crowd basically, and then...
He had, yeah, basically. He jumped over the fence and was actually sitting in front of us. And then the next minute after Alexi came out, he then jumped back over the guardrails and got into the ring. And when Alexi turned around, he gave him the Britney Spear. Got it right this time.
Yeah.
And basically left Alexi at the mercy of Jake Navarra, who then came out and the match was started. Navarra basically attacked a hopeless Alexi, and it
ended with basically a roll pin over near the ropes, where
Exactly.
Alexi's both of his legs were clearly on the rope, although the ref didn't seem to see that.
And he also didn't see Jake Navarra's legs on the second rope either, holding himself on top of Alexi. Third match up, we had a women's triple threat match. Now, triple threat matches and four-way matches I always sort of find really difficult to sort of like work out, because everybody's got to get their spots in, I suppose, and you've also got to work well together. Now, these three women in particular, you had Miami from Hardway Inc. with Josh Puder, Nikita Neridian, who I adore. I think she's great, and also Vixen. Basically, throughout the match, Josh Puder was the fourth woman in the match, I suppose. So you basically could have called it a four-way match, because he was getting involved sort of basically throughout the whole match anyway.
Yeah. Miami tried to, like at the very start of the match, Miami was going out to Nikita and basically saying, "Oh, do you want to team up again and take down Vixen?" To which she declined. So then she went over to Vixen and was like, "Do you want to team up and take down Nikita?" Another declination, and
so then Vixen and Kellyanne, Nikita started a beatdown on Miami. Also, Miami got her nose busted open. I hope she's okay. All the girls at the end of the match actually looked like they'd been through a war, and it was quite a good match. And basically, we had Vixen coming away with the win by pinning Nikita. We then had intermission,
which was cut off by a video by Ryan Nemeth.
Ryan Nemeth, who also goes by the name Briley Pierce. Apparently he's wrestled in NXT, OCW, a lot of indie places across the US, and basically he said that he's coming to the next show, and that he intends on taking the OCW Heavyweight Championship away from Andy Phoenix, which is going to be interesting, because at the end of the show somebody else also had a video that came up and said the exact same thing. Yeah, basically Ryan Nemeth cut an interesting little video saying that he was coming to take it. After the intermission,
we had Chris Taven who I believe we know is Jarrett Craven from NAW, versus Josh Shooter, who came out with Miami, just like he had come out with Miami in the
Hardway Inc. Yeah. But they're all part of the Hardway Inc. crew.
Yeah. Although they were the only 2 members present.
They were, yes. Yes. So yeah, basically, this wasn't a bad match. I've seen these 2 guys go at it before.
There was a lot of talking going on between the 2.
Yeah, probably the only thing that we would sort of say anything about was a little bit about calling the shots. Like that might be something you want to look at, guys. Just sort of keep it down a little bit. I mean, like we were 4 rows back, and we could sort of hear clearly sort of what was happening, and yeah, like we don't really want to hear what's going to happen next.
And pretty much the way that the match ended was Miami went to get the bell after the ref had been knocked down, and went to hit, who was it? It went to hit Taven in the head, but Vixen came out, basically pushed her back, and then hit her over the head with it, which was...
flattened her.
Yeah, and then...
Which basically gave Taven the opportunity to get the ref up and also take Josh Shooter down for the pin.
Which was pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good indeed. Next up, we had a match which wasn't announced on the night. Mad Dog, who's always good, versus the Mantis, who we'd never seen before. Mantis is from Sydney.
He looked a lot like B-Boy, pretty
yeah,
much.
he did look a little bit like B-Boy. Apparently they're part of something called the Hive, which we've never heard of, but Mia actually came up with a better idea. So, guys, if you want a new gimmick, what was the gimmick here?
I feel like you guys should get a girl with you and call her the Ladybug, and you guys should all come out and be the insects.
Well, there you go. So, if you want some advice, there's some advice for you. So anyway, they had quite an entertaining match. Once again,
talking was apparent between the wrestlers.
It was, yes. At one stage, I mean, one was getting one up to the ropes, up to the top rope and whatever, and like what we don't want to hear is, hold on, ready, okay, let's go. Okay, yeah, and they were the sort of things that we were hearing, and you're going over, and basically, yeah, so anyway, basically there was a lot of high flying throughout the event, and also a lot of brawling from Mad Dog, and he ended up getting away with the win. So well done to Mad Dog, and yeah, that was quite an entertaining match. Next up, we had the main event, and that was OCW Heavyweight Champion Andy Phoenix versus Chris Mimic Basso from RCW in Adelaide. Seth Max came out with Andy Phoenix, and basically, do you want to tell us something about the match?
So it was just a bit of back and forth for a while. Seth basically got removed from being around ringside because he was interfering too much in the match. And,
yeah, the ref finally took control.
Not for very long though.
Exactly, but yeah, he.
The match moved outside of the ring and everything.
He did remove Seth Max from the area. Mimic and Andy Phoenix had quite a good match. It was the first time I've seen Mimic live. He was absolutely sensational, I thought. Just as good as his brother, who I have seen, Grim. Anyway, it was a good match, backwards and forwards. It came out of the ring on quite a few occasions.
Came out of the guardrails, went up the stairs, and then came back
yep,
around.
It did. It went through the crowd and basically through the aisles and everything else, back down and then into the ring. And it basically... yeah,
it was just a very straightforward match. Andy Phoenix retained the title at the end.
He did. He he jumped into Mimic on the guardrails and then basically put him down in the ring and pinned him for the win. Phoenix was given a speech at the end of the match about how he'd beaten
everybody.
Well, basically
the
best that Australia has to offer, and that Australia no longer has anybody good enough to beat him, and that he was basically throwing out the challenge to
the world.
to the world. Any international that wanted to come over and have a match with him, to come on down. A video then started to play, and it had TNA Impact player Rob Terry. I don't know whether you can see that. Anyway, Rob Terry basically threw out a challenge to Andy Phoenix and said that he's coming to the next show on Friday, May the 23rd at the Ashwood Secondary College, and that he was coming for the heavyweight championship belt, which is going to be interesting because Ryan Nemeth also said the same thing at intermission. So whether there's going to be a three-way there, whether something else is going to happen. Also at the next show on the 23rd of May, Muhammad Ali Reveiws is coming out. He used to be with OCW. He's been out to Australia before and worked a Warzone show. Great worker, and he would definitely be very entertaining. And as I said, very, very family orientated. They're having a competition for the fans, for the OCW fans, to win a dinner with Ryan Nemeth within the next month. And I think there's also going to be meet and greets with Rob Terry and what have you. Other upcoming shows we have in the next month, we have PCW Mayhem on the 24th of May at the Polish Club in Rowville, and also...
which is the day after the next OCW show, which is on the 23rd of May.
It is too, yeah. And MCW Ballroom Brawl is on the 17th of May at the Thornbury Theatre, and I think it's the 6th ballroom brawl that they've had, and I think we've been to 5 so far, so we'll probably more than likely be at the 6th ballroom brawl, and looking forward to it. So yeah. So anyway, so that's it for now. Thanks very much everybody for having a look and checking it out, and OCW, see us at the next show. Bye.